everyone, and welcome to Watts Alive. I'm Kathy Castro, your host, and it's my pleasure today to welcome two wonderful musicians, Marcelle Gauvin and her accompanist, Fred Freed. Welcome to both of you, and why don't we chat a little bit, Marcella, about your background and your involvement in music, and you were telling me earlier how you sort of got involved, your family, and music in the house all the time. It's how it was in my house, too, by the way. We had a station that we used to listen to from New York City, and they played a lot of the Broadway music, and I was in heaven. So tell us about you and your rich past.
My rich past, rich and sordid. I was brought up in a family that listened to music, particularly big band, and grew up, as I told you before, always with a song in my heart, always a song in my head, and grew up and went to high school and began singing in these little acoustic duos and trios. Went to undergrad, began singing in a rock band, and then I began to get involved in theater. So I started doing musical theater and did that for a number of years. Well, actually worked 2 years as an actress in residence at a place called the Gateway Players, which was a small theater company in Wareham. And they received a CETA funding, and I was able to do, some wonderful shows like The Belle of Amherst, which was a one-woman show. And then I was called upon to do musical theater, and sing. And I met a person who was quite important in my life at that point. He was hired as a musical director. His name was Rick Brito. And he suggested that I start pursuing a career in jazz singing and mentored me. And it was kind of, the rest is history. I sang in, general business bands, sang for my supper, and explored all types of commercial music. So music has filled my life, and it also has filled the lives of my daughters, who are both professional singers. So we have a lot of music in our house.
That's a wonderful story. And tell us a little bit about, you teach now at Berkeley, and you were just telling me, too, that you are actually mentoring or teaching, working with a young woman who will be here in another few weeks performing, Juliana Emerald. Yeah. Yes, yeah. But how did you, tell us how you found your way, I guess is what I'll say, to Berkeley, which is nationally or internationally renowned school of music that we're lucky enough to have in Boston.
Actually, Berkeley found me, which it's totally true. They go through hiring spurts, where they need a lot of new teachers in. And they had approached me about teaching there because I got very involved. When I had my children, I took sort of a detour from performing into teaching because of the inability to tour. And so as I became a mother, I realized, I could continue my involvement in music by teaching. So I began a private studio, and then I got hired at UMass Dartmouth and was the head of the Jazz Voice Studio for about 10 years there. And then I got very, very into vocal pedagogy, very into commercial techniques for singers because classical technique was the only game in town for a while. So I began holding conferences and teaching teachers how to teach contemporary singers. And Berkeley had invited me to become a faculty member there, and I was like, the Boston commute. And then they contacted me again a little bit later, and I was like, ooh, the Boston commute. And then they said, how about associate professor? And I said, deal. And I've been there now at least 10 years.
It's great, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful involvement and the ability to share your knowledge and your experiences with students, with the younger group is fabulous, I think, yeah. So what are we going to do for the first number, folks? You have something?
Yes.
You want to do the intro?
Sure.
The second one, too. You want to do that?
Okay. We're going to open with a Frank Lesser tune. My wonderful, heart-driven colleague here, Fred Freed, who I've been in relationship with musically for a number of years now. And this is a tune that I was inspired to sing because Blossom Derry recorded it, and she's a major influence on me. So something called If I Were a Bell. Ask me, how do I feel now that we're cozy and clinging? All I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. From the moment we kissed tonight, I knew I had to behave. If I were a lamp, I'd light. If I were a banner, I'd wave. Ask me, how do I feel, little me, with my quiet upbringing? All I can say is if I were a gate, I'd be swinging. And if I were a watch, I'd start popping my spring. And if I were a bell, I'd go ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Ask me how I feel, little me, with my quiet upbringing. All I can say is if I were a bell, I would be ringing. The moment we kissed tonight, I knew I had to be. Now if I were a lamp, I'd light. If I were a banner, I'd wave. Ask me how I feel, little me, with my quiet upbringing. All I can say is if I were a gate, I would swing. And if I were a watch, I'd start popping my spring. And if I were a bell, 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 I'd go ding dong, ding dong, ding. Fred Freed on guitar. Next song we'll be doing is a song called Joy. And it's a little bit, it's not as well known, but it has a lovely lilting melody, and we're both really attached to it. So here goes. Morning song melody, the sound is a symphony of joy. Spring is here, new life walking away, whispers people feeling joy. Longing to curious a glance, a meeting of two lovers by chance. Beautiful things go by and circle on back. I feel the joy. Wind blowing, faces laughing, love growing, people feeling joy. Hearts open, flowers bloom, and things move on very soon with joy. The wonder of just a flashing chance, and the rhythm of making love a dance. Stop now and listen to the sounds of life. Listen to the joy. And with a little taste of this delight, you will move on smooth as liquid night. And through this looking glass, your body shares the sweet fragrance everywhere. Wind blowing, faces laughing, love growing, people feeling joy. Hearts open, flowers bloom, and things move on very soon with joy. The wonder of just a flashing chance, and the rhythm of making love a dance. Stop and listen, listen, listen. Listen to joy. Thank you, Fred.
Something we all need to be doing, right? Listening to Joy. So tell us about yourself. Give us a little self-intro. You've had an interesting career, so I've read.
Oh, it has been interesting, and I started playing actually later. I played clarinet from junior high school on, but I didn't really get serious about the guitar until I was in college, where I would just borrow guitars from all my friends, and they all played folk and blues and rock and roll. But prior to that, when I grew up in New York City, and around New York City, and I was very influenced by Broadway, just like Marcelle was. I mean, the Broadway shows where everybody would be talking about the latest Broadway show, and so I had heard all that music before I even picked up the guitar. Many of the standards, even though I didn't play them, I knew how they went. So when it came to actually figuring them out on guitar, I had a little bit of a head start. Then I was in California for 5 years, where I had the good fortune to study with the inventor of the seven-string guitar, a man named George Van Epps, who was legendary in the guitar world, jazz guitar, who played with Benny Goodman in the swing era, and he was quite a brilliant man. And he played the seven-string then, and that's what got me playing the seven-string, until about 15 years ago, when I heard a great classical player named Paul Galbraith playing an eight-string. So what this is, for people that are interested in the guitar, is the eight-string has a low A and a high A. The middle six strings are just like a normal guitar, but it allows me a greater range within the span of my hand. And so, oh yeah, yeah. So I was in Los Angeles for about 5 years, and then my wife and I moved back to New York. So I worked steady gigs like at the World Trade Center and the Rainbow Room. I played solo.
Two of my favorite places. I saw that
Yeah.
in your bio, right?
Yeah, and just various gigs all in and around New York with various people. And then we came to the Cape, and it's been very fortunate. So we've had a good time playing, and there you go.
What are you going to play for us, Fred?
I thought I'd play a great Richard Rodgers standard, My Romance.
One of the things I love about Fred Freed the most is his ability to play a ballad. And of course, for anyone who knows singers, we do love to wallow in our vowels. We just love to wallow on a note. So Fred is really, to me, exceptional at what we call rubato, which is out of time and just freely interpreted. So we're going to do a ballad for you, one of both of our favorites from a show called The Yearling. And it's not very popular, but it's very beautiful. Why did I choose you? What did I see in you? I saw the heart you hide so well. I saw a quiet man who had a gentle way, a way that caught me in its glowing spell. Why did I want you? What could you offer me? A love to last a lifetime through. And when I lost my heart so many years ago, I lost it lovingly and willingly to you. If I had to choose again, I would still choose you. Well, I understand we have time for a couple more songs. I know that's a little surprise, but it's good. This is one that I've actually sung for quite a while. Because of you, my life is upside down. I love you anyhow, but this is much too much to take. You don't believe in me, sometimes you disappear. And when I think you're near, you are so far away, far away, far away, far away. Tell me please, what is it I can do? I have my hopes it's true, but if it's my mistake to love you, please don't take me wrong. You know I'm not that strong. Make up your mind, do please. I cannot live like this. Now it's your turn to show me. You also have feelings, you have feelings. All I want is just a chance to love Yes, thank you, Fred. That was just a little playful ending that we improvised. Okay, so I think we're down to our last song. We want to thank Kathy very much for having us, Kathy Castro. We want to thank our cable people for I know they're getting the best shots of us, which is wonderful. And of course, the Narrows and Patrick for hosting this and providing really beautiful sound and setting. I think we're going to do this in the key of C. And this is just a straight-ahead swinger, nothing fancy, just an all-time feel-good tune. I won't. Do I want you? Oh my, do I? Honey. Do I love you? Oh my, do I? Honey, did I do? I'm glad that I'm the one who found you. That's why I'm always hanging around you. Do I need you? Oh, now do I, honey? Did I do? Yes, I do. Do I want you? Oh my, do I? Oh, honey, indeed I do. Do I need you? Oh my, do I? Honey, indeed I do. I'm glad that I'm the one who found you. That's why I'm always hanging around you. Oh, do I want you? Oh my, do I, honey? Honey, honey, did
Wow. Marcelle Gauvin and Fred Freed. My guests today on Arts Alive. Thank you so much for joining us. And until the next time.